Just as Lily was about to faint, Kevin used the 10 directions technique to pause time and carry her away from the reporters. On their way home, Lily confessed that her new responsibilities as mayor were weighing heavily on her. So Kevin suggested she hire a staff. The next morning, Lily met with the former director of transportation, Ruby Kincaid, who offered to become Lily's chief of staff. Lily was grateful for Ruby's help, but after leaving the meeting, Ruby called Juanita Hernandez and informed her that all was going according to plan. Later that evening, when Lily returned home from City Hall, she couldn't wait to tell Kevin the good news. As she stepped inside, she saw Dorothy, Alan, and Susan sitting on the couch watching television. "Hey, everyone. Where's Kevin?" she asked. "He's in the backyard," answered Susan. "I think he's doing some gardening." Dorothy rolled her eyes. "Go and make sure he isn't making too much of a mess, will you? My bedroom window looks right over the backyard, and the last thing I want to see when I wake up in the morning is a mismatched garden that isn't properly color coordinated. I told him we should hire a professional, but he insisted on doing it himself. I'm constantly surprised at what Kevin thinks he can do, when all I can see is that he can't do anything." Lily brushed off the insult and walked outside. At this point, she was so used to Dorothy's constant complaining that she hardly even noticed it anymore. Out in the backyard, the sun was just beginning to set. His knees were down in the dirt, and Kevin didn't notice Lily coming. He was captivated by the greenery in his garden and lovingly attended to the seeds he was planting. Kevin recalled his trip to the Mojave Desert to acquire the creosote bush root, and how he learned that plant's roots communicated with other plant roots to warn them or threaten them. Kevin wondered if he could cultivate communication with plant life as well. He knew they responded well to music, and some studies showed they grew faster and stronger when talked to. Perhaps on achieving the upper realm, Kevin could set his sights on this new skill. Behind him, Lily stepped up and said, "Hey, Mr. Green Thumb. Doing some gardening, huh?" Kevin turned around with a big smile on his face. "That's right," he said. "I've been gathering seeds from my journeys all over the world and thought it'd be fun to plant them like souvenirs. In a few months or so, we'll have plants from Peru, Cambodia, Australia, and the Caribbean, all here in our backyard." Lily chuckled. She thought his sudden enthusiasm for gardening was adorable. "What a thoughtful idea, Kevin. I can't wait to see you out here teaching the twins all about botany and herbalism. I bet they'll have just as much passion for it as you do." The thought of teaching his kids about herbalism filled Kevin's heart with joy and excitement. Then he remembered about Lily's meeting. "How was your meeting with Ruby?" he asked. "Do you think she's a good fit for your staff?" Lily nodded. "She was so helpful, Kevin. Her mind is incredible. She laid out a vision for a new public transportation program that seems straight out of the future. I liked her so much that I made her my chief of staff." Kevin smiled but looked a bit weary. He was happy for Lily but still harbored a bit of suspicion. "That's great, honey. Did you find out why she was at the airport yesterday?" Lily looked surprised that he had to ask. "No, it didn't come up," she said. "Are you really still worried about that? Why do you think it's so suspicious that she was at the airport?" Kevin stood up and wiped the dirt off his jeans. "Just a gut feeling, I guess. There was something about the expression on her face that caught me off guard when I froze time. It was like she was studying you or something." Lily shrugged. "She probably was, Kevin. Ever since I became mayor, I've had everyone's eyes on me as soon as I step out of the house. Are you going to stop and worry about all of them too?" Kevin could see her point. "You're right," he said. "She was probably just looking at you out of curiosity. I'm sorry, Lily. I just don't want you to ever get hurt is all. Now that you're a public figure, we have to be a lot more careful." Flattered, Lily put her arms around Kevin and kissed him. "Don't worry about me, all right? Ever since I became pregnant, I've been feeling a lot more powerful and self-assured. I appreciate the concern, but I can take care of myself. You have to trust me." Kevin smiled. "I do trust you, Lily. You're going to be the greatest mayor Chicago has ever seen. Anyways, are you done with work? I was thinking we might go out on a date tonight. It's been a while since we've had some quality time together." Lily nodded with a bright smile. That sounds great, Kevin. Let me just change out of this pantsuit and we can head out right away. Kevin held out a thumbs up. Awesome. I'll be waiting for you downstairs. With a chuckle, Lily looked at his grass-stained pants and said, Actually, Kevin, I think you should probably get changed too. After saying goodbye to their parents, Kevin and Lily drove downtown and valet parked at one of the most prestigious restaurants in all of Chicago, the Brandy Buck, which had 2 Michelin stars. The lighting inside was dim, lit mostly by candles at the center of each table, and there was a small jazz trio playing background music in the corner of the dining room. Kevin and Lily were sitting in a booth sipping on non-alcoholic drinks. So, how's it been going in Hollywood? Lily asked. Don't listen to what my mother said earlier. I thought Chains of Desire was masterful, Kevin. What an amazing film debut from Adam Spatzel. Kevin chuckled as he reached for another piece of bread from the basket. Thanks, dear. I'm glad you liked it, he said. So far, breaking into Hollywood has been a huge success, but my quest to reach the upper realm hasn't been going so well, I'm afraid. Taking a sincere interest in Kevin's journey, Lily leaned forward and said, Oh, yeah? Tell me more. I'm sorry to hear that. Kevin took a deep breath. Well, ever since I received that first clue after the epic clash, it's been like a wild goose chase trying to find the upper realm. The whole reason I went to Hollywood in the first place is because I learned there was an old film made by the Lumiere brothers that contained the answers I was looking for. But when I finally found it, there was nothing on the reel except random scratches and squiggles. To be honest, I'm starting to think I might never reach the upper realm. Kevin didn't want to tell Lily too much about his troubles. He knew stress could affect her pregnancy, but Kevin worried about the Pinnacle's looming invasion and the danger that could mean for the Foundation. Sensing the disappointment in his voice, Lily reached out and took Kevin's hand. Don't give up now, Kevin. You have to believe in yourself. I've seen you solve every problem the world has ever thrown at you. And this one is no different. You just have to be patient, clear your mind, and wait for the answers to come. Kevin laughed under his breath. Yeah, that's just what the Night King said. Just then, the waiter came by and dropped off their plates. Lily had ordered the Brandy Buck signature dish, beef Wellington and a mushroom reduction sauce, and Kevin ordered off-menu, opting for his favorite comfort food, buttered noodles with garlic and Parmesan. Kevin didn't think the pasta had enough Parmesan, though, so he asked the waiter to bring him some more. After taking his first bite, Kevin's eyes closed as he slipped into ecstasy. Then he looked up at Lily and said, If you want, I was thinking we could see a movie after this. The original King Kong is playing at a revival theater nearby. Have you seen it? It's very exciting. Lily blushed with a grin on her face. I'd love to, Kevin. Gosh, it's so nice to get some time together, isn't it? I'm never happier than when I'm with you. After paying the check, which between the appetizers, drinks, main courses, and dessert was well over $1,000, Kevin and Lily walked just a few blocks to the revival theater. It had an old-fashioned marquee that lit up at night. With Lily at his side, Kevin walked up to the ticket booth and ordered 2 tickets to King Kong. Before the clerk could hand over the tickets, they heard a loud voice shout at them from behind. Mayor Williams, is that you? I'm Duncan Wilbur with the Chicago Press. Do you have time to answer a few questions? When Kevin and Lily turned around, they saw a stout man in a trench coat armed with a microphone and a voice recorder. Lily opened her mouth to say something, but Kevin's frustration drove him to speak first. I'm sorry, but this isn't a press conference. The mayor is just here to see a movie. Hold on, Kevin, Lily said in a stern voice. Like I told you earlier, I don't need you fighting my battles for me. As mayor, I have a duty to make myself available as often as possible, so yes, Mr. Wilbur, I'll allow you one question before I have to catch my movie. The reporter nodded his understanding. Thank you, Mayor Williams. My question is about the giant rats that have been plaguing the city recently. Do you have any plans to address the problem? They're so big now that people are confusing them for small dogs. Like so many other problems that had been laid at her feet as mayor, the giant rat crisis was another issue that Lily hadn't thought all the way through yet. Well, she said, the current goal is to stabilize the rat population by Christmas. And just how do you plan to do that? The reporter asked with a skeptical look on his face. Just then, a familiar voice called out from a few feet away. "It's not the mayor's job to tend to every tiny little detail, you know. Her job is to oversee the city's entire operation from a very high vantage point. As for this rat problem, I can assure you she has the top minds working on it as we speak." Stepping through the crowd of people in line to buy tickets, Lily smiled when she saw Ruby approaching. "Wow. Hi, Ruby. I couldn't have said it better myself. What are you doing here?" she asked. Ruby pointed at the marquee. "I'm a big fan of old Hollywood. This King Kong show has been on my radar for months." Lily seemed to accept Ruby's answer, but Kevin still couldn't shake the suspicious feelings in his gut. "She just happened to be here?" he thought to himself. "Is it possible she's been following us?"